2 days, 6 hours, 4 minutes, and 25 seconds left before Hogwarts Legacy releases. And people are already starting to talk about what's not in the game. Let's go. Here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's what's going on, all my wizards and witches? We are ever so close to the release of the most anticipated game of 2023 in Hogwarts Legacy, and today I'm going to be reacting to T. Martin's video about what's not in the game and what not to expect when playing Hogwarts Legacy. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and smash that like button. Comment down below. Let me know what your pre-thoughts are about the game. And subscribe if you're brand new. I got all kinds of Hogwarts Legacy videos lined up for you. Come on by Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I kick off the Hogwarts Legacy launch with a live stream. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't be late. You don't want to miss out on all the goodness. Again, shout out to my guy T. Martin, who put this video out titled, "Here's What's Missing from Hogwarts Legacy."
Of mechanics in game. We've all known these, but I figured we could include these right at the very start because they're quick. We won't see multiplayer for sure. We know that. They've confirmed that. A lot of people are upset about that. I think it's fine. I'm really excited for a full
multiplayer. Not being in the game is not a big deal to me. I hope that down the road a DLC comes, maybe in way of Quidditch, where you get to fight or play other people online in Quidditch tournaments or stuff like that. But what would it be like to have a Hogwarts Legacy Battle Royale? Oh my God! Just saying. But no, multiplayer is not in the game.
Full single player open world RPG that you can just lose yourself in and focus on the story and not focus on interacting with other people. Although at some point, maybe in a sequel or something in the future, it could be kind of fun to have an open world online MMO Harry Potter game. I don't know, just walking through the streets, dueling people. It'd be kind of cool, but we won't see it this time. The second thing we won't see is microtransactions. There's no
Oh my God. 2K! Take a page out of Hogwarts Legacy books. No microtransaction. We're not paying for anything extra in game. Dope already.
Multiplayer, there's no reason for microtransactions. That honestly is a really good side effect of that. The third thing I wanted to talk about that's kind of a basic thing is that we won't see Quidditch, and we actually have a little bit more information on this. So it's been confirmed that Quidditch will not be playable in this game. There is a Quidditch pitch. You can fly around the Quidditch pitch. There are brooms and things that you can use at any point in time for travel around the world, but you cannot actively play the game of Quidditch. And honestly, I would say this is probably my biggest regret for this game. I don't know how to put it, but I am very sad that we won't have Quidditch.
I get it that, you know, people are upset that Quidditch isn't in the game, but there's obviously a reason, right? And who's to say we won't get Quidditch later on down the road?
I think it would have been a fantastic thing to add, and it is a little bit unfortunate, but we can hold out for hope in the future. You know, again, I mentioned a sequel earlier. Nothing about that's confirmed, but just looking at the hype for this game and how hungry people are for this universe, if this thing is a shining, glowing success, I would have a hard time believing that they wouldn't come out with a whole series and maybe, you know, sequels to this game, maybe offshoots of you know, we used to have Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Maybe we'll get an updated version of that. I don't know, but it feels like it's definitely missing there. Whether it comes as a full standalone game, it comes in a sequel, it comes as a DLC. Heck, I would pay for it as a DLC. Listen, Avalanche, if you guys added in a $30 buy it afterwards, 6 months from now DLC for Quidditch, 1000% I would pay.
Hold up, bro. Don't be pricing it, bro. Don't be telling people to put $30 on it. No, bro. Maybe $10. Calm down, T. Martin. Calm down, bro.
Pay for that and revisit the game, and it'd be great. So hopefully at some point in the future we get Quidditch. Now, just because it's not playable doesn't mean that it's not somewhat of a plot point end game. And I don't know how big this is. Honestly, I don't think it's very important. I don't think it's a very big part of the game. I don't think there's going to be cutscenes or anything like that. But it is somewhat a part of the narrative. So you guys know WB Games hosted a bunch of YouTubers out to Los Angeles a couple weeks ago. I was one of them, and we were able to play and record early. And one of the YouTubers, I'm not sure whose video this is, I just saw the screenshot on Reddit. They had kind of like a dialogue, or they overheard dialogue between other characters in game, and they said something along the lines that Professor Black had canceled Quidditch. So the headmaster has put a stop on Quidditch for some reason. Maybe there's going to be a story behind that. Maybe there's not, but the students are talking about it, so it makes it kind of seem like it might be some sort of a plot point.
And I think that also gives way to, okay, if Professor Black isn't the headmaster, then whoever comes in could reinstate Quidditch. Like, maybe, again, like he's saying, maybe that's a DLC to come along down the road. So, again, I'm not really too worried that Quidditch isn't in the game at this point. And who's to say that it won't be?
I don't know. We'll have to wait a couple of days to find out, but it is at least mentioned in the lore. And honestly, kind of similar to that is the House Cup. Unfortunately, the House Cup mechanic is not there. You're not going to be earning points for your house. You're not going to be celebrating the winner of the house at the end of the year. It just doesn't exist. We have the house point, hourglasses in the main lobby. There are going to be references to it in the dialogue and in the story, but there's no actual house point mechanic. So
that's strange that they would have the hourglasses in the game, but not have the House Cup mentioned. I don't know. And again, this is before the game is even, ready to be played. Who's to say that this stuff doesn't come, because why have it there? I don't know. Maybe we're reading too much into it.
So Quidditch and House Cup are there, but just not actually like interactable or usable. Now, talking about the House Cup, if there's one man who loves him a House Cup, and honestly, kind of loves to stack the deck and cheat a little bit, that's Albus Dumbledore. I swear at the end of every book, every movie, he's snapping his fingers. 769 points to Harry Potter. He wins. Gryffindor wins the House Cup every single time. Is he going to be in this game? No, probably not. However, there is an interesting point here. So Albus Dumbledore was very, very old. Not as old as his colleague Nicholas Flamel, but very old. He was about 115 or 116 years old when he died, and that puts him at 10 years old during the events of this game. There's a young Albus Dumbledore out there somewhere. Now, what's interesting is at 11, that's when you get your Hogwarts letter and you're a first year at Hogwarts. So we likely won't see him in this game, but if we get a sequel, if we have a year 6 game, we could see a little first-year Albus Dumbledore running around, which honestly would be really, really cool.
Yo, I don't know about y'all, but I get goosebumps just thinking about that possibility, because what he's saying is the game is based around 1890. Albus Dumbledore didn't enter Hogwarts until 1891-ish, 92-ish. So we're coming in as a 5th year. If they make 6th year and 7th year a thing for Hogwarts Legacy, we can see Albus. We can see the guy himself.
So hopefully, if we do get a sequel, we get to see something along those lines.
Oh,
the next
man.
thing I'm about to say is not confirmed. I want to make that clear. This is not officially confirmed, but I don't think we will see Diagon Alley in Hogwarts Legacy. And honestly, that's a pretty big deal. It's not quite as big as Quidditch for me, but Diagon Alley is obviously a very fun, exciting, eclectic, just crazy location in the books and movies. It is kind of sad if we don't have that, but I just don't think it's happening. So in the trailers and information we've seen so far, there are references to the fact that like our equipment and supplies and things like that have already been picked up for us. And then also one of the very first like teaser images we saw of this game is that there was an Ollivanders in Hogsmeade. You can see that image right here. So I just like the fact that our supplies are already taken care of, and we know there's going to be a Hogsmeade, and there's an Ollivanders in Hogsmeade. Like there'd be no reason to go to Diagon Alley. Hogsmeade is close to the school. There's all the references of like secret passages there and stuff. It kind of seems like it makes sense that you're going to have the school, you're going to have Hogsmeade to do your shopping, and then you're obviously going to have the world around that.
See, I think he is reading too much into it, because the map is quite expansive from the leaks that are out there. I don't know. Maybe he's just reading into it too much. I don't know what is going to be available for us to traverse in this game. And I wouldn't say that it's not in the game. Maybe it's just not a big point of the game. Diagon Alley, that is.
Could we still see Diagon Alley? Possibly, but it just seems like it would be a little bit repetitive. So I don't think it's going to be in the game. Now, talking about Hogsmeade, we are going to be missing a very iconic building. The Shrieking Shack won't be in the game either, and that's because it didn't exist yet. The Shrieking Shack was commissioned by Dumbledore for Remus Lupin when he was at school. Obviously, we know he was a werewolf, so when the full moon came out, he needed some place to be able to go and wait out his transformations.
And I think that's a whole nother aspect that, some people are forgetting about, is the fact that we're in 1890. A lot of the things that we know of the Harry Potter world is well after that. So we can't assume that these things are going to be in the game. Not all of them.
So he wouldn't hurt people, and that was made for him. That's why it was known as the Shrieking Shack, because obviously painful transformations, howling at the moon, screaming, yelling, whatever. So that is not going to be in the game because it just straight up didn't exist. Now, because the Shrieking Shack didn't exist, neither does the Whomping Willow. I was kind of sad when I realized this. I was excited to see, what would happen with the Whomping Willow and that kind of thing. But yeah, that was planted by that group, Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, Lupin, Pettigrew, Black, and James Potter, Harry's dad. It was planted over...
Hold on, that's kind of weird because in the graphic art of Hogwarts Legacy video game, if you look over to the far right or to the left, there's a Whomping Willow there. That looks like the Whomping Willow to me. I don't know. I could be wrong, though. Maybe that's just not the Whomping Willow.
There's no reason for the Whomping Willow, so neither of those are going to be in the game. Similar to the Whomping Willow, something that would have been fun to check out but won't actually be in the game is Aragog and Aragog's Nest and all that craziness from the Chamber of Secrets.
Again, hold on. Now, in this graphic art, over here looks to be a huge spider. And again, maybe it's not Aragog, maybe it's Aragog's great-grandfather or something like that. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that this is just some other spider and some other Whomping Willow? I don't know. I can't wait to get my hands on to find out.
Secrets, books, and movies. Honestly, I'm kind of glad it's not going to be in there. But yeah, you're not going to find Aragog out in the Forbidden Forest because he just doesn't exist yet. Aragog was back in the 1940s when Tom Riddle was at school, aka Lord Voldemort, and Hagrid was taking care of Aragog. Riddle blamed Hagrid and blamed Aragog and kind of made them the scapegoat for...
Again, I guess that makes sense. Time period wise. I don't know. Maybe there's some other things that we're going to find out about before the Whomping Willow and before Aragog.
Or the basilisk that he had set free and said that was what was hurting the students. So Hagrid let Aragog go. Aragog went out into the forest and has been living his life since then. And that's why Hagrid was expelled. And kind of the same thing along those lines. The last one I have here is Moaning Myrtle, because she's not dead yet. We're going to have a ton of ghosts in this game. We're going to have Peeves and Professor Binns teaching the history of magic, and Nearly Headless Nick, the Fat Friar, the Bloody Baron, etc., etc. A lot of familiar names there. But Myrtle's not going to be in it because she wasn't dead yet. Myrtle died when Tom Riddle was at school, let the snake out, and she died in her stall because she looked into the eyes of the basilisk. So yeah, some heavy hitters that we're going to be missing in this game because they just straight up didn't exist yet. It would have been fun to be able to interact with some of these things and see these things that we've seen in the movies and read about in the books, but they're just not around yet. This is our own story. This is our own time, and it's very purposeful. The devs have talked about this. They didn't want too much familiarity. They didn't want too many other heroes in this game because they want you to be the hero. They want us to be the hero, our player character. We're the ones that are this fifth-year student with these ties to the ancient magic, and this is our story. We get to make it what we want. We're not interacting with the other things that we already knew about. This is all new and all exciting, which I think is pretty cool. So,
and that's pretty much the end of T Martin's video. Again, shout out to T Mart for doing an amazing job on this video. about what's missing from Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know. I'm kind of now even more curious just to go and try to find some of these connections to some of these things that he's saying isn't in the game, especially the Whomping Willow and Aragog, since it's on the digital cover art. And I totally agree with what he's saying about the time period references as to why certain things wouldn't be in the game. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. 2 days, y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this kind of content on the channel, and then comment down below and subscribe if you're brand new. I'm going to be doing all kinds of Hogwarts Legacy videos. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it was. It's your boy Dubs, CP, here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's blow! Deuces.